Hey guys, my name is W Generation 135 and I will be talking about the lore of Dark Souls 2. Okay, first of all, I do want to say I am no Epic Name Bro or VaddyVidya. Those guys are amazing at what they do, but I really just want to voice my opinion on the lore of Dark Souls 2 because I've been thinking about it ever since it came out, ever since I finished the game. And there's some shit at the game that like it really has caught my attention. I will start out with the prologue of the game. I will read it. It's just one little part. You will lose everything once branded the symbol of the curse, an augur of darkness, your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then you'll be something other than human, a thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. I really like the beginning of Dark Souls 2. General Sam's talked about this. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. He's talked about this. He talked about how the lore in Dark Souls 1 is amazing. I agree with him. It keeps you interested and you start making these connections and all this shit. Like, for the fucking longest, we all thought that, and some of us still think that Solaire was Gwen's firstborn. And the game doesn't tell you nothing about it. And in this game, the prologue to it, it doesn't tell you much either. It does show some things though. It shows a woman, a child, and a male figure. I don't know if the male figure is you or someone else. It is most likely you, and the female figure and the son or the child could be your family, and those are your memories fading away because you're becoming hollowed. Or just random shit. I don't know. It's Dark Souls 2, anything goes basically. But now we're dealing into the lore, to I think what is a possibility of the story. Again, I must remind you, this is all speculation. It can't be true. Fucking From Software is never gonna come out and tell us, oh yeah, this happened, it's true, yeah, you're right. That shit ain't never gonna happen. First thing off the bat, what the fuck is Ornstein doing in Drang Lake? Okay, what the fuck is he doing? I sure people might fucking not agree with me that it's Ornstein, but there's like a 90% chance it's Ornstein. He has the old Leo ring, which Ornstein does in Dark Souls 1. So, unless some other Dragon Slayer that looked exactly like Ornstein picked up the same ring. To answer this, we gotta think about what happens in Dark Souls 1. Maybe he was an illusion in Dark Souls 1. Because of what Gwendolyn does. She fakes Guinevere. It's an illusion in Underlando. Like, the sun is gone, everything is gone. Maybe he was an illusion. I don't know about Smo. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. There's an 80%. To me, there's an 80% chance that Ornstein was an illusion in Underlando, and that maybe he left Underlando to protect Guinevere. It is mentioned in Dark Souls 1 that, or it's theorized that that all the gods left Lordran, and he probably left to protect her because, you know, it was Gwen's daughter and all that shit. And seeing that he was probably one of the last 4 knights of Lord Gwyn, maybe he did left to protect Guinevere. Also, maybe he left to find Artorias. We don't know. I fucking don't know. Maybe he. Fuck. That I can't answer. Maybe Artorias is alive at the same time Ornstein is, because remember, the time is distorted in the Dark Souls universe, so it could be a possibility. Or he left it to get the same powers from that Artorias did from the abyss. That could be a possibility, because he kind of does have the same powers Artorias has in the first one. He has the same abyss powers in DS2, so he might have gone to look for Artorias. That's a possibility, but all we could do is speculate. We can't do nothing about it. Also, there's a bunch of things I want to talk about. I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna be recording for, but there is some stuff I want to talk about, because I got 2 pages here. The description of the lingering dragon crest ring in Dark Souls 2. Okay, Straight mentions Straight is the dude you unpetrify in the Lost Bastille. He mentions that Drang Lake wasn't always called Drang Lake. It had other names before the one he knew. There's another possibility that Drang Lake could be Lordran, or it could be another place. But the description of the ring indicates that Drang Lake can either be Venheim or Lordran, because the description says it is said to be used a long time ago in the land where Drang Lake is now. Well, the ring comes from Venheim, right? Alright, that much we know. But I don't think it could be from Venheim, because the only time we use the ring is Lordran. I mean, you use the ring in Dark Souls 1 in Lordran, and it says, the description of the ring in Dark Souls 2 says it is said to be used, not where it came from. So it can be Lordran, or it can be Venheim. It's up to you to decide. I personally think is Lordran, and many people are gonna disagree with me, because some people are smarter than me. But I looked at the wording very carefully, and I thought about it. I was like, there's a huge possibility it could be Lordran. Also, if you have played the game in New Game Plus, you know about a bunch of things that are really weird. First thing is the Old King's Soul. The Old Iron King. Such an interesting battle. But have you played it in New Game Plus? Well, if you did, you do know that he drops the Old King's Soul. It's speculated that it could be the soul of Lord Gwyn. I know many people are gonna say, nope, no, it can't be. It probably belongs to one of the 4 kings, or I don't know. It probably does belong to the 4 kings, but no, I personally don't believe it. Mainly because if you turn the Old King's Soul to Strayed, you can make a miracle called Blinding Bolt. And the description says, crafted in ancient time by the god of the sun, but later forbidden by the same deity, was it to protect the world from hatred or sorrow? It doesn't sound like the 4 kings to me. It sounds like fucking Lord Gwyn. Also, I'm gonna explain something real quick. All the Lord Souls from Dark Souls 1 are probably in Dark Souls 2. Next soul, the Old Pale Drake Soul. Okay, this one got. This is the one you get after being the fucking Duke spider, the big ass spider with the little spiders around it. I think this one's a big ass reference to Seath, the Scaleless, the big ass dragon from Dark Souls 1. That white motherfucker. Mainly because if you give it to Weaponsmith or Ornifex, the Weaponsmith, the big bird lady, the one I attacked by accident but didn't go aggro on me, thank God. You get the Moonlight Greatsword. The same sword you get when you cut off the tail of Seath in Dark Souls 1. There's another theory going around that the Duke's deer Freja is the spider you fight might be actually Seath, mainly because we know that Seath can change forms. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually him, or you know, it has some possession over her or him or the spider. I mean, because he's supposed to be immortal, and he can change forms and shit. So there's that possibility, and also the fossilized dragon that you see in the cutscene before you fight the dragon, the spider. It might be Seath himself. I mean, they're not gonna make him. I know a lot of people are gonna say it doesn't even look like Seath. Do you really think the developers are gonna make him look exactly the same? No, remember, he can change forms, so might be him, might be not. I don't know. I'm just fucking speculating here. Oh, and the old witch soul. Stray talks about some old witch in a forgotten land. When you beat the last sinner in New Game Plus, you get the old witch soul. I believe it's the soul of the Witch of Izalith, or the Bed of Chaos, whatever the fuck you want to call her nowadays. Why, you ask? Well, mainly because you can make a Chaos Blade, and if you give it to Weaponsmith Ornifex, and we all know that Chaos came from Izalith, whatever the fuck you pronounce it, when she tried to make the flame last longer. That's where Chaos was born. That's where the Capra demons, all the demons were born. So that could be a hint that the old witch soul is actually the soul of the Witch of Izalith, a bit of Chaos, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Might be, might not. I don't know. Also, the old dead soul, motherfucking. This sounds like Nito to me. Seriously, fucking. I think it's Nito, mainly because you can make a crypt black sword. The description of the sword says, ultra great sword symbolizing guardianship over the undead crypt. The sword has never seen the light of day and is steeped in dark. I don't know about this one, to be honest. This one got me thinking a little bit. I can't make nothing up or think of something, but I think it relates to the Great Lord's Servant Covenant to me from Dark Souls 1. I don't know, because when you join, you get the big ass sword from Nito. I personally don't have the sword in Dark Souls 2, so I actually don't know how it looks like. But it just reminds me of Nito. It reminds me of the Great Lord's Servant Covenant from Dark Souls 1. That's why I think the old dead soul has to be Nito's. So, alright. Now to King Vendrick. This one, man, this motherfucker, I've been thinking for a goddamn while. After I finished the game in New Game Plus, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Even after I finished the game, I was like, who the fuck is King Vendrick? I don't know who the fuck it is. Many people think he's the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls 1. To be honest, I have fucking no idea, because I just don't know. We could agree for the meantime that he can be the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls 1. Okay. Back again. let's agree for the meantime that he actually is the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls 1, right? And let's say this Chosen Undead chose the path of not linking the flame, not making the flame last a little bit longer, right? So he rose to power, I guess, right? And then also, let's say that Solaire Vestora links the flame in his time and sacrifices himself so the flame could hold out a little longer. Alright? Let's say this for the meantime. That means that the Sublime Bone Dust from Dark Souls 2 can be Solaire. Okay? Mainly because the description of it just got to me. The description says, charred, ashen bones. Cast them into the far fire in Manjula to increase the HP restored with each use of your flask. They say these are the remains of a saint who cast himself into the bonfire. But we would never know for sure, for soot and ashes tell no story. You're probably thinking to yourself, like, what the fuck is this Tubby talking about? Well, the one word that got me in the description was saint. It's like, let's say it is Solaire. Alright, let's say the Sublime Bone Dust is Solaire. No, first of all, let's say Solaire is the firstborn of Gwyn in Dark Souls 1. It's been confirmed by Miyazaki and whatever. That means that he was like a god, right? So Saint, why would they put Saint in the description of the Sublime Bone Dust? It can be Solaire. I mean, I believe it's Solaire. I have no proof or evidence to back the story up. I personally believe it's Solaire, and that King Vendrick can be the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls 1. I do think Drangleic is Lordran. In some ways, all the Lord Souls kind of point to it. For me, fuck, man, it's hard to think about this. Or either that there's another possibility. Either that King Vendrick went to Lordran and stole something of great power and brought it back to Drangleic, and that's why they say that all giants came from a far, far land to Drangleic. My final thought is that if we, the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls 1, did not link the flame, then the Chosen Undead rose to power and gave all the Lord's souls to all these bosses, closest allies in Dark Souls 2, making him King Vendrick, and the Solaire in his personal time beat Lord Gwyn and sacrificed himself to make the flame last a little bit longer. But sadly, I mean, we will never know. The developers will never fucking just tell us. This is the fun of all these soul games. All the fucking speculations we can make and all that dumb shit, man. And we can theorize about the dumbest shit. I mean, I saw a fucking video about Xanthus fucking King Jeremiah from Channel Sam 123. Dude, fucking he got me interested in that shit. Just because of one description and 2 pyromancies. I want to hear your thoughts. If you think I'm right or wrong, I really want to hear them. Fucking tell me your theories or speculations and stuff. But I do believe there's a slight chance of Drangleic being Lord Dran and King Vendrick being the Chosen Undead. That one fucking 40-60. I hope you enjoyed. listen to me ramble about stuff, I will have. Fuck, I'm not even gonna say this. Fucking cut. Thanks for watching. This has been Tubby Generation 135, and have a nice day. Toodles.